Welcome, ladies and gents, to another Major Talks session. As you can see, things are slightly different here today, and that's basically because, unfortunately, we got so many conflicts, so many scheduling issues. We just can't get together, and we can't all just organize on a time. We all have busy days, but we're still going to bring you these prediction shows. We're still going to talk about Crown Jewel, and of course, we're going to talk about what's happened when it's come to our prediction game that we have at the moment that is running on PWC at the moment. And just to give you guys a little heads up on how things have taken when it comes to our prediction. Of course, we've gone through a few pay-per-views already. We've done SummerSlam, we've done All Out, and it's looking a bit eerie. Of course, we also had Extreme Rules, let's not forget that, but and Money in the Bank, of course. I almost forgot about Money in the Bank. But of course, the next pay-per-view is coming up, and that is Crown Jewel, and we are going to treat it as a pay-per-view. Now, with that being said, just to guys give you a recap of the whole situation, of how the predictions have gone. Jeremy took a huge lead from the Extreme Rules, picked up good 6 points there, taking him to a total of 24 on the leaderboard. Myself, I picked up 4 points, the lowest of Extreme Rules. Along with Kyle, we weren't that great. But I'm still on second spot at the moment when it comes to Extreme Rules with a score of 20. And then, of course, Nashville, who picked up 5 points at Extreme Rules, goes tie with Kyle in third place. And, of course, the loser has to eat that one chip, that extremely hot one chip. And, listen, I'm glad I'm in second place. But let's talk about Crown Jewel. And of course, as always, I do have my friends. They've asked them. So the way we're doing this today, let me explain that actually. We're not going to just do in the 4 format. We've asked a question, and we're going to just share our answers. Very simple, very quick. We'll play the question on the screen, and then you'll hear all our answers at random as well. So just to get you guys in the mood, just to give you a bit of an idea, that's how we're going to do it. And of course, we will take down all the predictions and let's add them to the scores, and then you can catch the results on the Monday night, the Monday Vaz rant next week, of course. So yeah, let's head off to the first question.
Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali. We all know that this match is only happening yet again for the Saudi audience. Mansoor, if you don't know, is actually from Saudi Arabia, and or at least I think his lineage lies there or something, because I know he speaks very fluent English. But then again, a lot of people in Saudi Arabia speak very good English these days. You would be surprised if you go there. So yeah, I think Mansoor's gonna win. This match is just to appease the Saudi audience and introduce him to their hometown hero. That's why it was added so late into the card. They realized, hey, we got somebody from Saudi here. Let's just throw him on the card. Let's take him back to his hometown of Saudi and have him perform in front of his home audience, and probably we'll get a pop. I don't think that's gonna happen because Saudi audience is not. It's not like the American audience. It's not like you're gonna mention someone from Nashville, Tennessee, and someone who's wrestling from Nashville, Tennessee, and the crowd's gonna pop. They're not like that. They're gonna pop for whomever the face is. But you're going in with the objective that Mustafa Ali is the heel and Mansoor is the face, so that adds some credibility in Mansoor to get the pop, being chaired in this match. I don't see this match going on very long. We saw Mansoor win already in Saudi Arabia in one of the battle royals that they had. So yeah, this is gonna be a great win for Mansoor in his hometown of Saudi Arabia, and yeah, that's basically all I gotta say about this match. It's gonna be a good match. I liked Mansoor's performance, and I know Mustafa Ali is gonna perform great. Both of them amazing high flyers in their own right, so this is gonna be a really good match.
Obvious. Mansoor. I think they built that whole thing up for Crown Jewel. I think there was more build up for this match than probably just about any match on this card. Because if you think about it, they had to put these guys together, make you care about them, just for them to break up just in time for the Crown Jewel match. this, this was some long term booking. This was some, in Vince McMahon's terms, this was some good shit. So yeah, I'm gonna go with
So
Mansoor
look,
on that.
when it comes to the dynamic of Mansoor and Ali, I I kind of like them as a tag team. I think they will have a successful. I don't think this is the end of the tag team. Um, Obviously, recording this just before Raw, so I haven't watched Raw yet. Well, I can't watch Raw yet. It's Sunday, so. But anyway, yeah, I like this dynamic. I think it's going to be more of a lesson for Mansoor rather than a breakup of Mansoor and Ali. I mean, they're both going over to SmackDown, so felt like their brand split them up. But of course, being in Saudi Arabia, I have to go with Mansoor. It just makes the most sense to me to get him over rather than get Ali over in his hometown. You know, it's all that sort of concept. So yeah, Mansoor, obvious choice, but I don't see this being the breakup of Mansoor and Ali. I think this is going to be a teaching moment for Ali. Uh, so let's see how that one pans out. But I'm going with Mansoor. I think Mansoor has definitely got this one in the bag.
All right. So this one is weird because I immediately when I saw these two form, I mean, remember Mansoor has been one of those guys who really they bring out when it's a pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia because they got to leave the crowd sort of happy and feel like they've got a hometown hero. And when I saw Mansoor and Ali tag team or team up, and I saw Crown Jewel was a couple months away, I thought that these two were most probably going to climb their way up the tag team division and eventually get a title shot, win it, and establish themselves as one of the really good tag teams. Because when you watch them, they're pretty good. Ignore the friction between the two. Look at just the in-ring capabilities. And I know they've been, subjected to like 3-minute matches against your Humberto Carrillos and your Angel Gazas and stuff like that. But still, they are performing and they're raising the bar every week, or they were rather. So, that being said, I think it's one thing that we how do I say, we were robbed of. I think a nice tag team title run between Mansoor and Ali, we were robbed of. That being said, I think Mansoor continues his trend to win matches at, Saudi Arabia pay-per-views. Crown Jewel's not going to be any different. I'm trying to think of a finish in my head as to how this thing goes down, but I mean, I don't see it going any. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a roll-up for the win. And then Mansoor leaves. I mean, and what would they have gained? That's my thinking. What would they have gained? Because the Saudi Arabia crowd are not going to be in their weekly shows. And a lot of the people watching, from afar, like myself, we feed off the energy within a live crowd. So if their intention is to make Mansoor a star, why now go and waste that sort of moment in Saudi Arabia where 99% of those people watching over there are not going to be in the US to watch the weekly shows or wherever it is they're touring. So that energy, that hype behind Mansoor, it's lost, it's gone. Whereas had we been building them up as a credible tag team title contender, have them win, yes, fine, have them win there, but then come back, heroes or, just idolized by these fans and let them run on from that point onwards. You use what you had within the US to build them up, you crown them at Crown Jewel, and then let's move over and let them run where they run after that. So I don't know. I'm annoyed that this has turned into a singles match, but it's got to be Mansoor for the win. I do not see Ali beating him in Saudi Arabia. Had this been any other show, my prediction would have gone Mustafa Ali. But Mansoor.
And then the Queen's Crown. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna go with Shayna. I'm gonna say Shayna, but I hope they go in a better direction with her than what they did when she won the Elimination Chamber. I hope they do something a lot better with her. She deserves it. That lady's amazing.
Zelina Vega versus Dewdrop. I don't even know why Zelina Vega's in this. I expected Carmella to be here, but nevertheless, we've got Zelina Vega and Dewdrop, so Dewdrop for the win. Zelina Vega stands no chance in hell of winning this at all whatsoever. It's gonna be Dewdrop. Dewdrop's gonna win because Zelina Vega stands no chance, no chance in hell. She's got no chance. Dewdrop's gonna win. Dewdrop will be the queen. Will win the queen's crown in Saudi Arabia. And yeah, I can already see the marketing behind this. And if you know about Dewdrop, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to say it on camera. But yeah, it's going to be great marketing for WWE. And Dewdrop walks out of Crown's Jewel with the Queen's Crown.
All right, Queen's Crown Tournament. Zelina Vega against Dewdrop. I have no idea how it is with the array of talent we have in the women's division, with the amount of creativity and cool gimmicks we have in this women's division, how it is we have landed up with a final between Zelina Vega and Dewdrop. It makes no sense to me how it is we have knocked out Liv Morgan and how it is we've knocked out Shayna Baszler. It makes no... Anyway, Zelina Vega wins. Yeah, nothing more.
Right, so we're going to talk about the King of the Ring, but the women's one, which is called the Queen's Crown, which I must say, I'm not a big fan of the name. I'm not a huge fan of the way they call it the Queen's Crown. Queen of the Ring would have been a lot better, but hey, that's just my humble opinion. And so we know Zelina Vega is in the final. Obviously, like I said earlier, we recorded this on a Sunday, so I haven't seen what happens on Raw, but I know it's either going to be Shayna Baszler or Dewdrop. Personally, I want Shayna Baszler to go through to the finals, as it will be then, of course, the crowning of the Queen of Spades. I mean, it makes sense. That's her gimmick. But in the event that Dewdrop does beat Shayna Baszler, then I'm going to go with Zelina Vega. I think she would be a better queen rather than Dewdrop to be the queen on that one. And I just see Zelina more. I see Zelina and Shayna being more queens than what Dewdrop is at the moment. No disrespect to Dewdrop, I think she will be a fantastic asset to the Raw women's division. I just feel like Zelina, like for me, the King of the Ring has to be that bit of a heel persona. Yes, there's been some good face ones, but the best ones have always been the heel factor. And of course, we've never had a queen one, so why not take it as a mingy little, queen and make her a full-blown heel, make it Queen Zelina, make it Queen Baszler, push them as much as you can. With that being said, in my mind, Queen Zelina sounds a lot better than Queen Baszler. That's what I'm going to say. But I'm going to go with Zelina Vega if Dewdrop goes through. And then if Dewdrop doesn't go through, Shayna Baszler. That's the only way I'm going to make this prediction. You can shoot me if you want. You can tell me it's cheating. I don't care. So the men's one, I see it being more decisive. I don't see Jinder Mahal beating Xavier Woods at any point. I think the amount of campaigning that Woodsy has done for King of the Ring, it will be a crime to not have him in the final. So either way, Xavier Woods is winning this one. I'm going to put all my money on Woods to be the next King of the Ring. Again, I know I said earlier that the King of the Ring is always traditionally a better heel, but the fact that you've got Finn Balor and you're going to have Xavier Woods, because I told you there's no way Jinder is going into the finals. You're going to have a face King of the Ring at some point. The big thing is, though, what they can do with Xavier Woods is make him King of the Ring. You have Big E as your WWE champion. Kofi gets a little bit jealous, starts getting a bit upset, and then the power runs to Xavier's head. We all think Kofi is going to have the turn. Instead, Xavier has the turn. He becomes a sort of a heel, and I get it's the end of the New Day, and I get that's been 9 years in the making. Not every tag team needs to dissipate or break up, but I think it'll be good as a whole to split maybe Kofi and Xavier. Of course, Big E's now on Raw, and they got the other New Day on SmackDown. They do need the New Day in the tag team division. I feel like their tag team division, especially Raw side, though, is a lot worse than the SmackDown side, because SmackDown did get quite a lot of big names coming through, the likes of the Viking Raiders, New Day, are all coming through there. Of course, you've got Mansoor and Ali, who are or are not a tag team, which is big for them. You have the Alpha Academy there. You have, of course, the Usos that are there as well. It is a stacked roster when it comes to the tag team division on SmackDown. But, yeah, Xavier Woods.
All right, King of the Ring. Xavier Woods against Finn Balor. So, a big part of me wants to see Xavier Woods win this, but an even bigger part of me wants to see him lose. I think I understand what they would be trying to do if Xavier Woods won King of the Ring. You know, all three members of the New Day effectively having some sort of singles success, nice little storytelling, but Xavier Woods being upset that he never won the King of the Ring, having seen Kofi Kingston win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, Kofi Mania, having seen how successful Big E is becoming as the WWE Champion, having been a losing finalist in the King of the Ring, for me, tells a much better story. Because now we've got one of the New Day members who probably is already feeling a little bit insecure about the fact that he's probably the weakest member. He's probably heard it in the locker room, hearing whispers, reading some tweets, you know, getting some comments on his YouTube channel. And he wants to prove those doubts as wrong. And effectively, you know, that didn't happen. He loses. I could see an Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston program with a heel Xavier Woods and a face Kofi, because you can never turn Kofi heel, being one of the absolute gems of a feud on SmackDown, starting now next week, or starting this Friday, sorry. Better storytelling. Because what do you do if Xavier Woods is the king? What do you do? So he's now the King of the Ring. We have seen what they've done with their King of the Rings in the past. Doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense to me why it is they treat their King of the Ring. I mean, poor King Corbin lost his crown just because Shinsuke felt like he wanted to mess with him and steal it and be it and then win it. I mean, so much for your anti-bullying campaign. I mean, he basically bullied him into stealing his crown and then won it, and then we just left it as if it was okay. No. Xavier Woods being a beaten finalist makes a lot more sense. I think Finn Balor needs his credibility restored. So I do predict Xavier Woods versus Finn Balor. Your King of the Ring is Finn Balor.
I am weirdly excited for this one, but at the same time, not really. There's certain aspects of it. For me, the whole King of the Ring thing, guys, I'm gonna age myself here quite badly, but when I used to watch King of the Ring, it was a one-day tournament. So you had like one guy fighting like in 4 matches. I have no idea what this current format is, but I guess it is what it is. And yeah, with that, let me give my selections for the King of the Ring and the Queen's Crown. King of the Ring, I'm going to go with the sentimental favorite. I'm going to go stick with Woods. I do want Xavier Woods to win this. It wouldn't surprise me though if everything swerves at the last second and we end up with somebody like Jinder or something else. But yeah, I'm going to stick with Woods for now.
Alrighty, so Finn Balor versus Xavier Woods. I'm gonna say Xavier Woods for the win, because this whole storyline of them pushing how much this King of the Ring means to Xavier Woods and how he loved King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. I'm gonna say Xavier Woods for the win. I know Finn Balor has a whole Prince gimmick, but I don't think it's enough. So I'm gonna say Xavier Woods for the win. And yeah, that's that's all I gotta say. This is gonna be a good match. I know Balor and Woods are gonna perform really good, but I only see a Woods win here. It's the only logical outcome.
Okay, so for me, the match that I am least looking forward to on this card, yes, least. I know there's some bad ones. I know there's some bad ones, but this one, I do not understand why it is Bobby Lashley and Goldberg are so hyped by WWE management. I don't get it. I watched every single episode, every single segment, every single pay-per-view match of Bobby Lashley's WWE Championship reign. And I am still not convinced. This guy has no charisma. He feels so forced. His wrestling style is weird. I hate those pants that he's wearing. Yes, MVP is the only good thing that was going on for him. I have said this before. But MVP is not there anymore. So, I'm glad the championship is off him. I'm glad that this match is not for the championship. Let me put that out there first. So, that's one plus, I suppose. We saved ourselves there. But now let's move over to Goldberg. This man, I mean, he wasn't a thing when I was watching. Like he was apparently there a lot before, many years before. But I knew him. He was in the video games. They'd show some stuff of him, and when he returned, I was like, oh, look at this guy. He looks big. He looks good. He looks in shape. He shocks the world. He beats Brock. I'm like, whoa, okay. I didn't know that those type of matches are what Goldberg used to do before. So I just thought, man, this guy's got a crazy ass finisher. And every single time we've seen Goldberg wrestle, he's literally gone a few minutes. He can hit 3 moves at most. I don't like his storytelling. Why has he been threatening to murder Bobby Lashley for the last 3 weeks? Murder. He has said it. He's never said, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to pin you. I'm going to make you tap. I'm going to make you say I quit. He has legitimately threatened to kill Bobby Lashley every week. And why? This is the worst thing for me. This storyline is so stupid. They have a title match. Right? See this logic. Put yourself, if you're actually viewers, put yourself in this space. Your dad is fighting this other dude to be world champion. It is a fight. Your dad is a professional fighter / pro wrestler. He can potentially get hurt. And you've seen him hurt other people. What's to say that can't happen to him? He is in a match against this person. This person, or said person, is potentially going to end your dad's career with sort of hitting him. I think he had a steel chair and he was gonna smash his leg. All reasonable. This can all happen. I don't see what Bobby was doing wrong. All right, now put yourself in those shoes. You're a kid. You don't want to see this happen to your dad. He's given it all that he can. He's done. You know this in your heart. He shouldn't be there. So you're gonna come out and you're gonna jump this man. Okay? What do you think that this man, who was going to end your dad's career forever, is going to do to you? You jumped him from the back. All he did is he took you and he tossed you. I mean, I don't understand what Bobby did wrong. I would have done the same thing. I understand what Gage did. I do not understand Goldberg's reaction though. That is, for me, the dumbest part about this story. I mean, Goldberg, watch the match back. Why did Bobby need to say, oh, you didn't see what happened. He jumped me from the back. Goldberg, go and watch this. It's on YouTube. If you want, I will upload it on the PWC channel myself. I will put it. I'll put clips. I'll show you about to have your knee destroyed. I'll show Gage running and jumping Bobby Lashley. I'll show you Bobby Lashley chucking him over. I'll show you MVP apologizing straight away. I'll show you the look in Bobby's eyes straight away. And then I'll show you how stupid you look for reacting the way you did. You are just an angry, testosterone-filled man that makes every other man seem super impulsive when all they needed to do is take a step back, breathe, and beat their son for doing something stupid. Bobby Lashley is going to kill Bill Goldberg and hopefully put him in retirement so that we never, ever, ever have to see that walk from the locker room to the ring again.
So this one, I get it. I get the whole concept of Bobby Lashley Goldberg being a money draw. I get that. And I get it being a big match for Saudi Arabia. I mean, it makes sense. Am I interested? No, not in the slightest. Making it a no holds barred, I don't see it being too much more of just a glorified street match. I don't see it going super vicious. I do see Gabe getting involved at some point, but I'm gonna have to give this one to my man Bobby Lashley for the victory. I think it just doesn't make sense. There's no title on the line. There's nothing else on the line. It just makes sense for Lashley to take it. I'm not gonna say much more on this one.
Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley. No amount of words in any vocabulary can express how little I care about this match, really. I've made it quite public on a lot of the Pro Wrestling Central videos that I was a huge Goldberg fan growing up. When Goldberg debuted in the 90s in WCW, I followed his career. I liked him when he debuted in the WWE in the early 2000s, around 2002, 3. And he feuded with The Rock and Triple H, and he had a World Heavyweight Championship run. And then, he got stale, and then he feuded with Lesnar, and then he went away from wrestling for a while. I am not a Goldberg fan right now. Right now, I look at Goldberg and I'm like, he's Oldberg. That's what he is. He's Oldberg. He's not Goldberg anymore. He's Oldberg. I could care two hoots about this match. Really, I have no interest in this match whatsoever. Goldberg's gonna win. That's a no-brainer. Goldberg's gonna win. Gage is gonna get involved somehow. I didn't see MVP for a while. I think he's picked up an injury, so he's not going to be seen. He's not going to go on the Saudi trip. They can only take so many people. So he's not going to have an effect on this match unless they decide otherwise. I don't see Lashley winning. Goldberg for the win. No holds barred. I could care less. I don't see this match getting very interesting or entertaining or hardcore in any way because these two guys are not really known for hardcore matches, especially now at the ages they're at. Yeah, I don't have any interest in this match at all. I could care less. I could care two hoots. Goldberg for the win. Not that I care, and that's my prediction.
The match that we're gonna probably see happen in 2 minutes. I think I'm not sure what the stipulation for it is, but I believe it's some sort of no rules, no holds barred type match. Goldberg versus the almighty Bobby Lashley. I think, personally, Bobby Lashley should win that. However, like the previous match with Edge, we know that they do go the route with the Sheik, whatever he wants. So, yeah, look for a Goldberg win again, guys. I'm not sure how it's going to play out. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing this in a few weeks' time. We're going to be talking about what a bad botch fest it was. But yeah, I'm looking at Goldberg for this. Goldberg is probably going to walk away with this one. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to go in any further detail. Most of you know how I feel about Goldberg. So yeah, let's just walk away from that, right? The match that's probably going to steal everything, Uncle Sethi versus Edge. Now, I went a bit back and forth on this one, and I'm going to go with Edge purely because I think that's the way the Sheik is gonna want it, because he likes the OG guys. He likes the OG guys, and he does like to see them winning. Yeah, so we're gonna go with Edge on that.
All right, I'll tell you what. I was very underwhelmed by this. I don't know. I mean, I like Edge, I like Seth Rollins, but I wouldn't say that I've been like mega fans of either. I wouldn't say I would go and watch a pay-per-view or any of the like weekly shows just to see the two of them. I mean, they're not there for me just yet, and I don't think they ever will be. But I fell in love with this feud over the last couple of weeks. I love what's been going on. I love when Seth went to Edge's house. I mean, I love the promos that are going on back and forth. Seth has this way of being very childish and being very laid back about the thing, but he knows how to flip and switch into this gear, this serious gear of Seth Rollins that made him, will make him, a possible person to dethrone Roman Reigns at a point, a possible person to carry a brand, or at least have a nice little world title ring. That's Seth Rollins, 100%. Edge has been great. Edge cuts very, hard hitting, word intensive, so to speak. Very good with facial expressions in his promos. You can actually feel the emotion. Edge is very good at that. You can see he honed his craft in a very, very different generation, and a lot of what he's doing is rubbing off on Seth Rollins, which is only going to serve to benefit the WWE later on. This is, of course, the rubber match. Edge having won the first one, Seth having won the second one, seemingly putting Edge out of business for a little while. Edge returned a lot sooner than I think a lot of people thought he would. And then to see him now back in a Hell in a Cell match just proves and just goes to show, what level he has gotten his body to during his sort of time out. He has conditioned himself to the point that he can go through two very, very rough matches into a Hell in a Cell match. Of course, he's not doing the house shows, the daily house shows and the weekly shows where he's actually going out and performing. But I think from a part-timing main eventer sort of superstar, to be able to transition into that and still do as well as he's doing, I'm kudos to you, Adam Copeland, or Edge. That being said, I don't know if I am happy that this pay-per-view is the right place to end it. I am happy that it's a Hell in a Cell match. I think that a lot of the feuds in the past that have worked, that have got this amazing sort of storytelling that you actually see in games that you can relive and rewatch and replay, has culminated in a Hell in a Cell. And this is effectively what a Hell in a Cell should be. A Hell in a Cell match should be. It's the final stage. It's when there is nothing else to do, when two big ass rivals have fought each other tooth and nail, and we need one last match to sort of finish it off. Hell in a Cell, and I think last man standing match should be in that category as well. But Hell in a Cell with Edge, a hardcore legend. I'll put him as up against Seth Rollins, who's had some great showings in Hell in a Cell himself. This match is going to be an absolute banger. From a visual aspect, I'm not really a fan of the Hell in a Cell match, purely because you see the cage, and I don't like that. Especially when they've got those camera angles from the outside in. But if they do what I see they have been doing a lot more frequently, is putting a cameraman in there, so maybe we can catch a little bit of the stuff better. I really hope, because I can tell the two types of performers that these two are, that they want to give it all. They want to recreate Mankind against The Undertaker. You can see it. You can see, I can actually imagine the two of them sitting down in a room talking about what it is they can do better. And I just hope that it is a safe match. I hope both of them are left healthy after it, and are able to come out and perform. I think there's still so much more to come from Edge, so much more to still come from Seth Rollins, leading up into WrestleMania season and beyond. And knowing they're still going to both be on the same show, Monday Night Raw, of course, from next week Monday. Perhaps this is not the end to their storyline. It might be the end for their feud, but who knows? The tag team division needs a little bit of injection, and perhaps the two of them can lean off of each other up until, maybe a career match at WrestleMania. If Seth Rollins doesn't get the title match everyone says he does deserve. In terms of predictions, I've got to give it to Seth Rollins. I figured, and if you look at the first match that they had at pay per view, I predicted an Edge win, just because I think he needed a bit of credibility back. But it was always with the thinking that these guys were most probably going to have a 3 match, maybe 5 match series. And that sort of rubber match was probably going to go to Seth Rollins, who needs this a little bit more for his sake. So yeah, Seth Rollins with the victory after a very hard fought win. I think curb stomp to end it all, or a stomp as he's calling it now. Put Edge on the bench for a little while. Let Seth go and be himself there in Monday Night Raw. Nice little heel character going onto a show where a babyface should be the world champion. Excited to see it. This is probably not the last chapter. But I think for now, for 2021, this is the last Rollins Edge match I hope we get.
So this is the last of the non-title matches, yeah. So, look, when it comes to Hell in a Cell, I love them, I do. But I feel like WWE has overused them in the last 5-6 years. I mean, there's a whole pay-per-view with Hell in a Cell, except this one we had one Hell. Yeah, it was weird. It's an overused gimmick, I think, but I think the Saudi Arabia crowd will appreciate it. When it comes to Hell in a Cell match, I think you have two of the best Hell in a Cell competitors that we've had. The old version, like Edge, has been in some fantastic Hell in a Cell matches. And of course, Seth Rollins, bar the Bray Wyatt finish, has had 3 of the best Hell in a Cell matches I've seen ever. I loved them. I think he's been fantastic. The Kevin Owens one for me was top notch. Bray Wyatt one I loved. I thought that Hell in a Cell match was great. And the other one was John Moxley, or aka Dean Ambrose, which I loved as well. I thought that was a great Hell in a Cell match. With that being said, though, in the hat trick of this one, I feel like the Drip King himself, Seth Rollins, needs to pick up this victory. They need to cement him as the top heel in Raw, and there is no better way to cement him than to take Edge and to use him and to elevate Seth Rollins into that position where he could be the next competitor or the next challenger for Big E's title over on Raw. But definitely going to be match of the night, in my opinion.
Oh, now we're talking. Now we're talking about a match, probably one of the very few matches on the Crown Jewel card that I am personally excited for. If you guys have seen the major players talk on SummerSlam, I made it very public that I was looking forward to Edge versus Seth Rollins. I was a huge Seth Rollins fan, still am. I was a huge fan of his run in 2015 with the title, in 2014 when he sold out to the Authority and held the Money in the Bank. I was a huge fan of Edge growing up. I loved his whole rated R gimmick. The 2006 2008 Edge with La Familia and feuding with The Undertaker and Batista, that was Edge for me. That was my favorite Edge. And now, Edge is older, but he's still wrestling, and he's good at it. It's not like Goldberg or Oldberg, as I like to call him, where he's trying to wrestle and failing miserably and having only two moves of doom. Edge can still go. He still has the moves, slightly altered, but he's still the same Edge. He does the same moves, the same spear, the execution, all those moves. I loved it, and yeah, man, this match is gonna be good. And now it's inside Hell in a Cell. Oh my God, this is gonna be awesome. We know how vicious, cold, and calculated both Edge and Seth Rollins can be inside that cell structure. We've seen them in multiple cell matches, both of them at different times in their career. And man, oh man, is this match going to be good. The only thing I hate is the fact that the cell is red, and I know it's going to be red, and I hate the color lighting that they put red. I absolutely despise it, but I'm going to calm myself and enjoy the match. I liked the silver cage, Hell in a Cell. That was awesome. This red one makes it look so geeky and so ugh. I don't like the color scheme on it. I don't like the fact that they put red lighting in certain of these matches in the Hell in a Cell, but Edge and Seth Rollins performing is gonna more than make up for it because their styles play off each other so well. Their promos have been awesome. The storytelling, the angle, everything has just been absolutely beautiful in this match. I mean, this in this feud, in the storyline. I know this match is gonna be awesome. I know there's gonna be weapons involved. I'm hoping tables, chairs gonna come out, kendo sticks. I'm hoping they use as many weapons as possible in their Saudi Arabia. I know there won't be any blood because of COVID, but if they can get it a little bit extreme, that would be awesome. And I know this match is happening because the Prince of Saudi Arabia, he knows Edge, and I'm pretty sure he knows Seth Rollins. They're huge stars. So he probably watched Edge while he was growing up, just like I did. So that is why I'm saying Edge is going to win, okay, to please the Prince of Saudi Arabia and to end the storyline. I know both Rollins and Edge are moving to Raw after this whole crown jewel because the brand split apparently only comes into effect. The brand split that happened 3 weeks ago, all right, that brand split is only coming into effect 3 weeks later. So after Crown Jewel, it kicks into effect. SmackDown's going to kick it off with a brand new roster. So yeah, that's my prediction is Edge for the win, and I am so looking forward to this. This is the match that I am most looking forward to on the Crown Jewel card.
And we get to our title matches. RK Bro, AJ Omos. They keep this nice, short and sweet. RK Bro retain. I don't see anything else happening. I think AJ and Omos will probably head down to a line where they're going to split up. But yeah, I think we're going to have RK Bro, and I think we're going to have a heel turn for RK Bro with the Street Profits coming into Raw and being challengers for the title. I think that would be the logical point when it comes to the Raw Tag Team division. That's all I've got really on that one.
So RK Bro, Randy Orton and Riddle versus AJ Styles and Omos. I would like to say AJ Styles and Omos, but I don't see Orton and Riddle breaking up just yet. Also, taking off the fact that Styles and Omos just lost the titles to Orton and Riddle back at SummerSlam a few months ago, they're coming off a really hot tag run. So I don't see them dropping the titles just yet. Um, so yeah, I think Riddle and Orton are gonna just retain the titles. I could see Orton and Riddle breaking up somewhere after the Rumble. Um, my my mind tells me that Riddle's gonna eliminate Orton in the Royal Rumble match. This causes some tension between them because they're still tag champs. They still have to defend the title as the champs. So one of the other, they either lose the title or one costs the other, the shot, or they refuse the tag. The infamous where they drop off the apron when Riddle's reaching to Orton for the tag, and they drop the titles, and we have Orton versus Riddle at WrestleMania. That's how I see it planning out because I would make logical booking. It's still too early to break them up. While Orton is getting a bit annoyed by Riddle, just recently he made a match all by himself, and Orton was not too impressed about it. I don't see them breaking up just yet. It's going to take a little bit more annoyance to break and annoy Orton. Orton is a very cold and calculated guy. We saw how that worked with Bray Wyatt. He joined the Wyatt family, and then towards WrestleMania, he broke up with the Wyatts, and it was him and Wyatt at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. I still don't like how Orton won the WWE Championship in that year's WrestleMania, but I'm not going to get into this right now. This is about the Crown Jewel predictions. So yeah, I think it's going to be Orton and Riddle retaining against AJ and Omos, and they move on to new challengers. Royal Rumble is where the tensions are going to rise, and they're going to drop the titles, and we're going to get Orton versus Riddle at WrestleMania. Survivor Series coming up. We're going to get Orton and Orton and Riddle probably versus the Usos because I don't see the Usos dropping the title either anytime soon. So yeah, it's going to be a good retain for Orton and Riddle.
And then RK Bro versus Stomos. Yes, I am calling them Stomos now, guys. I'm gonna stick with RK Bro on this one. I think almost is starting to look like that guy. Like they're almost packaging him like Diesel when he was with HBK back in the day. But yeah, I don't think he's there yet. He's getting there. He's getting there. I do like him. I do like him, and the few times that he's come down to his own entry music, that sounds quite cool as well. So yeah, we're gonna go with RK Bro on that one.
Okay, and we're on to the Raw Tag Team Championships. Now, both of these tag teams have the potential to break up and have a very nice little singles program between each other. You know, if you look at it, you've got Randy Orton on the one side with Matt Riddle, AJ Styles with Omos. Randy Orton being the sort of veteran in the team, you know, pretty much accomplished it all. Riddle's still an upstart. Yes, he has won a championship. I think it was the US Championship. And then on the other side, you've got AJ Styles. I mean, what hasn't he done? And then also a rookie right next to him, you know, who picked up a tag team championship, so does have a bit of gold around him, historically speaking. But very two similar sides or teams, if you look at it in that sense, where you know, their personas are bound to clash. Now I know, you know, Randy Orton is not AJ Styles and Matt Riddle is not Omos, but the storytelling is effectively the same. So I think that this match is not necessarily who is the best tag team. I think the approach is more so who is ready to split, who is ready to go their own way, and go into a nice little feud. I think Randy Orton against Matt Riddle is best saved for something like WrestleMania. I think Matt Riddle and what he's been up to, what he's been doing in ring, what he's been doing out of ring as well, has been very good. I enjoy watching Matt Riddle. I mean, he brings a smile to my face when I see him on a show. So I think that this match is best saved for a WrestleMania. Orton against Matt Riddle. They can drop the tag team championship somewhere around February, March even. That 6-week period before WrestleMania, and then let that thing go full steam ahead. I think they're very green in their tag team. I think that there's still a lot more entertainment we could possibly get out of them. A lot of shuffles being done in the draft, so, you know, nice little new matchups for them. Just slowly building up this tension for them to eventually, you know, of course, break up. We all know it's coming. Just put a pause on it. Now, Styles and Omos, I thought would have been broken up about a month ago when they actually lost the championship, but I think they've been kept together purely for the protection of Omos. You can see Omos has been, you know, thrust into some singles matches just to sort of develop his style, give him a little bit more experience so he can gain that confidence to hold longer matches. I don't think they could have paired him with anyone better. I don't think anyone would be able to sell as well as AJ Styles does for a big man's wrestling style. I don't think a lot of people would be able to understand you know, what needs to be done to build up a feud. And I don't think Omos would have gotten a better rub off of beating anyone else bar, you know, a handful of guys. And I mean, AJ Styles is right up there. So this is perfect. Do I think, you know, a breakup is necessary right now? No, I think we can also do slow build, but I think that this is something that probably needs to maybe happen round about the Royal Rumble time. I think we can slowly build towards it after this loss that's coming. Yes, I'm predicting RKO retain, and eventually a small little blow up before the Royal Rumble. Omos can even toss AJ Styles out, or vice versa. I think that's probably the best way. Styles gets Omos out, because how do you book anyone else to throw Omos out? And then let that sort of run through up until sort of Fastlane or so, and I don't know. Put Omos in a US title match, have him win it. Styles can face someone else. So yeah, I'm predicting RK Bro retain. I think it'll be a very good match. These two teams and these 4 individuals have been very good lately, and I don't see it being a disappointment. I think it will be a faster match. I think maybe 10 minutes max here, but let's see. Excited to see what happens between these two teams. I mean, I might be wrong. I might be very wrong. These guys might be tag team Hall of Famers, either one of these teams. And but yeah, I'm just thinking.
after this weekend, after this past week's SmackDown, um, in fact, I think I'm gonna change my mind. I originally had Ballet written down, but I think seeing that both Becky Lynch and Ballet are going over to Raw, and Raw doesn't have a champion, yeah, I think it's gonna stay with Becky for a while. I've literally just changed my mind. I would like for Bianca to win, and it makes sense to have a face win there at on this pay-per-view, but I don't see it happening. The more I think about it, the more I realize that this belt's not going to change hands, and yeah, Becky's going to stay with it for a while. And she did take a pin from Sasha on Friday night, so yeah, I think that's going to stay exactly where it is. I don't see it. That being said, I just looked at my card, and all the titles that are on here, I don't have any of them listed as changing hands. Spoiler alert for the next one and the last one.
All right, I love the women's division. I will say this in every major player's video. I will say this in any piece of content that gets uploaded on the PWC YouTube channel, Twitter channel, Instagram channel, TikTok. I don't care. Women's division is where it's at for me. And to see what I believe are three mega stars within the division going against each other in a triple threat at a pay-per-view, this big. And I know it's not normally been this big, but I feel like Crown Jewel is just different for some reason this year. It's always just been a glorified house show, but for the first time, it's become of meaning and of value to it because it's got so many implications. And I think the women's division and this SmackDown Women's Championship match is one of those that could really just change the complete landscape of it. We know Becky Lynch is going to Monday Night Raw. We know Bianca Belair is going to Monday Night Raw. This is for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And so one would assume the only SmackDown roster member as of this week Friday, being Sasha Banks, is going to win this. And we saw on SmackDown she went one-on-one with Becky Lynch, got a win. And Sasha has been booked just based in terms of her return. Since she obviously lost that championship at WrestleMania, she has not really taken a loss, has she? I mean, no losses actually come to mind. I mean, they're looking at her as one of the stars who carried the WWE during the pandemic era. They know she's over as hell with the actual crowd. It would make sense for me to put that championship on her. Very clean. I mean, it's triple threat, so we're gonna see shenanigans. I'm interested to see what they're going to actually wear. Are they actually going to be wearing their, proper attire? Or, are they going to be wearing, I remember when I think it was Bailey against Natalia or I can't even remember who. I just remember Natalia was in a pink shirt, or red shirt or orange shirt. I don't know, but a t-shirt, like, covering up, Natalia's big bits. And I don't know. Is that going to happen again? I'm interested to see. I'm not sure in terms of a Saudi crowd. I know they're trying to please, some royal person, and obviously the crowd that's going to be in attendance now this week Thursday. I don't know who's overseas. I mean, we're in South Africa, and I think looking at the three stars, I think that they're equally as over within the ranks here in this country. That might be the same that side. So we'll see if they're trying to feed off the energy of the crowd and give a winner, that'll let that Saudi crowd go home happy. Very, very, very tough to call. I just want to put it out there. I think Bianca Belair is going to struggle in this match. Just looking at her in-ring, thingies. Like she'll slap her thigh and, she'll do this. And I don't know if that works there. I'll be quite honest. I don't know if it works there. The way females are actually seen, in these Arabic countries, it's gonna be a weird one, but we'll have a look. I'm excited to see this. I think the story behind these three has been told really well. Bianca Belair, Royal Rumble winner, went up against effectively an unstoppable marquee champion in Sasha Banks, beats her at WrestleMania, goes on an underwhelming run, beating what I would call mid-card talent, holding on to that championship up until SummerSlam. Bolt to now face Sasha Banks in a rematch. Sasha Banks doesn't come out. She's, for whatever reason, and I know she doesn't want to say it, can't compete. Becky Lynch, the man who main evented WrestleMania a couple of years ago, had to retire her championship to go and be a mom, comes back looking better than ever, I might add. Wins it in 26 seconds. And now you've got effectively three main event WrestleMania talent up in one match up against each other. And I know we've seen that. In the men's division, I know we've seen that plenty of times. But in the women's division, there's really only been two main event WrestleMania matches, and to see three of the five participants together is great. I mean, they've been giving us Charlotte Flair as well, over the weekly broadcasts. I would have loved to have seen her in this match in another sort of women's or winner takes all, and maybe have the women's division be cross brand. But just final prediction, it's got to be Sasha Banks. Let the boss go and reign down on SmackDown. There's plenty nice feuds sitting there for her.
Again, we find ourselves in another no-brainer situation. Becky Lynch is going to retain the title, and we're going to see her on Raw the following week with a red belt. I have a lot to say, and let me get this off my chest before I go any further. But my prediction is Becky Lynch for the win, and here's why. Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks are remaining on SmackDown. Charlotte Flair is now officially on the SmackDown brand. Okay, so we're gonna see Charlotte Flair mixing it up with Bianca and Sasha Banks, which is something we haven't seen in quite a few years. Banks and Flair had an amazing feud in 2016 following the very first brand split. And I know that Bianca Belair and Flair have something, brewing there. So that's a no-brainer. Lynch is gonna go to Raw and she is gonna face off all comers. I'm assuming that maybe, just maybe, the winner of the Queen's Crown will be the first on Lynch's list on Raw. Although I'm pretty sure there are other challenges. The women's division is very thin at the moment. So yeah, that's how I'm going with this. But yeah, I still don't like how the brand split goes. I don't like the whole fact that we have a Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion and a Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champion. Because during the very first brand split rather, this is a bland split, not a brand split, a bland split. Because we had the Women's Championship and the Divas Championship. We had the WWE Tag Team Championship and the World Tag Team Championship. And if they cross brands, it still made sense because that's the World and the WWE title. It's the women's title and the Divas. It wasn't brand specific. It wasn't the Raw Women's Champion and the SmackDown Women's Championship. They had their own names. It just happened to appear on different brands. You know, just like the Universal Championship, the WWE Championship. I don't know why they have to, keep switching colors because now it makes no sense. I mean, Becky Lynch won the SmackDown Women's Championship from Bianca Belair at SummerSlam. It's a blue title. Now we're all of a sudden supposed to, you know, magically expect that they're swapped belts and now she's the Raw Women's Championship on the Raw brand, even though she didn't beat Nikki Ash. She had nothing to do with Nikki Ash, but she's now holding the Raw Women's Championship to keep the lineage going. It This whole thing makes no sense to me. I don't like it. Um, but there's nothing I can do. I'm not in the WWE creative team. I'm not Vince McMahon. I can't do anything about it. I have the same gripe with the Raw and the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Very bland, very colory, and very. It doesn't have its own thing going on. That if it crosses the floor to another brand, now the champions just have to automatically swap titles, and the lineage just goes off. In my opinion, I know that somewhere along the line you could say the lineage keeps continuity, but I don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't like when you. It's cool to swap champions. Don't get me wrong. I do like the fact that champions can cross floors to the other brand. I just don't like the fact that you have to swap titles to keep color. It makes no sense. That's why I don't like it. But yeah, we're probably going to see all three women fully clothed. We've had a women's match in Saudi before. I think it was Banks and Natalia. Correct me if I'm wrong. They were fully clothed. All you could see was their face and hands. I assume it's the same. It's going to be with this triple threat. So I don't expect to see the woman half naked as they usually are. But nonetheless, they're going to be fully clothed except for hands and face, and they're going to wrestle in Saudi in a triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, which will eventually become the Raw Women's Championship. It is so freaking weird to say that, but that's how it goes. So yeah, my prediction: Lynch for the win.
Right, so this one I've actually looking forward to a little bit. It is the women's match, and it is Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, and Sasha Banks. Now, I have a theory in this one, which revolves around a rumor that the women's division on Raw and SmackDown are going to be combined and make it into one women's division, which I don't see happening, and I don't think it's a smart idea right now for WWE. They have enough females to have singles titles on each brand. The tag team division, however, I do understand if they have to dissolve it. There isn't a lot of talent, enough talent to have a tag team and two singles rosters. But if you look on the Raw side, you have the likes of now Bianca Belair's there, Becky Lynch is there. You can have Nikki ASH. You've got Rhea Ripley. You've got Doudrop. These are all top competitors that are going to be on Raw for the women's title. Then you also have the likes of Asuka and Alexa Bliss, who are both on the injured list, who could possibly come back and bolster the Raw side. Over on SmackDown, with your SmackDown champion, which this match is obviously contested about, which we'll get to. You're going to have Charlotte Flair, who's coming over from Raw, which obviously will be a huge boost for SmackDown. You've got Sasha Banks, who is there. You've got Carmella. You've got Liv Morgan. I mean, you've got Zelina Vega, who's been building up. You've got Toni Storm, who can be fantastic. And then, of course, you also have Shotzi and Natalia all on SmackDown, which could help elevate the blue brand. But when it comes to this match, my theory belongs that if Bianca Belair beats Charlotte at Raw just before Crown Jewel and becomes the Raw Women's Champion, I feel like she will win this match and become the SmackDown Champion and then unify the belts. That is my prediction if she wins it. If she doesn't win and Charlotte retains, it's a very weird conundrum, because then we're going to have the Raw champion on SmackDown, and if if she retains, then I'll say Becky's going to keep the belt, and she's going to go over to SmackDown, and then they're going to do exactly what they did last season with the tag team, where they just swapped the belts, which I think is a huge cop-out. I think it's a terrible way to get rid of the champions. With that being said, I think personally, in this match, Sasha Banks will win. She'll become the SmackDown champion. Becky and Bianca will move over to Raw. I do think Bianca might beat Charlotte on Raw and keep the Raw title there. If not, then SmackDown will have two champions. Yeah, I'm sticking with my pick. I'm going to stick with Sasha Banks. I think with Becky and Belair going both to Raw, it just makes sense to me. Unless they do this the title switch, which I really don't want. I'm sticking with Sasha, though. I'm sticking with Sasha.
This is a no-brainer. Absolutely no-brainer. Big E is going to retain the WWE Championship. There's not a doubt in my mind that this is going to happen. Um, Drew McIntyre stands no chance in hell of winning that title. And then here's why. I see Big E versus Roman Reigns at Survivor Series as a better draw than Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, which is what we saw last year. You know, when McIntyre's run finally ran dry, and everyone was behind Reigns. I see that happening again. I do not see I don't see Roman Reigns. I don't see Drew McIntyre. Sorry, I don't see him winning the title at all. I mean, how do we go from Drew McIntyre being the WWE Championship, losing it, and then going to a feud with Jinder Mahal and the whole Nessie and the sword thing and the historian thing that we were going for, and then we go to this whole, and all of a sudden he's thrust and thrown back into the title picture. It absolutely makes no sense. I think this is just for a big payday, it's just to get the big pop, because I'm sure the Saudi prince knows who Big E and Drew McIntyre is. So this is just to get them over that pay-per-view and just to have the WWE title represented, and gives Big E some cred that he's beaten a former champion in Drew McIntyre. He's already beaten the previous champion in Lashley to get the title, obviously. So now this is just for him to build some cred. And yeah, Big E will win the WWE Championship, retain it, and go on to represent Raw at Survivor Series against SmackDown's Universal Champion Roman Reigns.
All right, then we got our first main title match. It is one which I think is fairly predictable. It's a very weird booking, in my opinion, to have Drew McIntyre and Big E to go off against each other for the title. Of course, Drew coming over to SmackDown, so I don't see him winning that match anytime soon. It's going to be a Big E victory, and I think Big E will move on to the likes of Seth Rollins, maybe when it comes on to Raw. He will probably be the main guy. Bobby Lashley should still be there in the fight, in the hunt, looking for a world title. Edge probably has a good call in getting that as well. He is one of the top tier guys on Raw. So yeah, I'm going to go with Big E winning this one fairly easily.
All right, so next up we have Big E versus Big D. I'm a little bit annoyed about this one because I feel like yet again our people down at WWE headquarters are insulting our intelligence as fans. We all know Drew McIntyre is going to SmackDown. We know Big E is on Monday Night Raw. So if the WWE Championship is a championship for Raw, why would the guy who's going to SmackDown the day after this go out and win this? I'm sure my colleagues at PwC have vented enough about this, but that's just my 2 cents. So there is a situation where this could potentially work. And that is if Brock Lesnar beats Roman Reigns, and Brock's obviously a free agent, and Brock goes wherever Brock pleases. The result of the Big E Drew McIntyre match can be something that isn't as straightforward as one would assume. But I mean, I just want to comment on Big E's reign first. I mean, he's been really, really good at what they've asked him to do so far. So, and it's not much in the ring, I believe. He hasn't been really needed, and I don't think he's really been tested just yet. But in terms of the promo stuff, in terms of, you know, some of the initiatives they've got him doing outside of the ring, I know he introduced that big boxing match, for example. He was at a football team's like pep rally. Those are all cool, and I think within WWE they have found someone who speaks the part, someone who looks the part, someone who is likable, and just a good guy. You can see it. You can see the fans love him. You can see the management love him. You can see the locker room loves him. You can see he's really enjoying what he's doing, and I think that it would be an absolute tragedy to see that momentum just stopped right now. I love Drew McIntyre as a heel. I wish he were a heel going into this program. I loved the Drew before the sword, the Drew with the big coat, the Drew who just wanted to kick ass. This Drew, not so much. This Drew doesn't have me believing he can be beating the star that they're trying to create. And I say create because he's not yet there, Big E. I just don't see him derailing him just yet. It'll be a close one. It's two big men slapping their meat together, or as I don't know how the quote goes, but yeah. I just think that because I do not see the main event being a shock, it's gotta be Big E that wins this. Yeah.
And then the main event. This is the match that I have been waiting for. I don't know why, because it is Brock Lesnar, and we're not supposed to like Brock Lesnar, but man, he has built a story which I want to see. I want to know where Paul Heyman fits in the storyline. The bombs that Brock Lesnar has been dropping, the questioning from Roman Reigns, the storytelling in this one is just what I want. I love it. I'm amped for this one. I think we're going to have a Paul Heyman turn, in the sense that he's going to try and cost Roman Reigns the victory. He's going to see that it won't happen, and then he's going to cost Brock Lesnar the victory and play it off like he was part of Roman's tribal the whole time. I don't see them letting go of Paul Heyman from Roman Reigns, considering the fact that Lesnar's only got 8 matches coming back. I don't think it's a long-term contract enough for him to keep Paul Heyman by his side. And I think, you know what, I think Brock Lesnar's actually done very well without the guidance of Paul Heyman. I think he's done actually a good job in keeping Paul Heyman away from the mic when it comes to his talking. And it's proving that, you know what, Brock Lesnar is actually good for pro wrestling. It is what pro wrestling needs, and I think that is fantastic. I love it. With that being said, though, I'm acknowledging my tribal chief. I know my tribal chief will win this match. Roman Reigns is beating Brock Lesnar, and with that being said, he'll also get the custody of Paul Heyman.
Roman versus Brock. Now, I think if I watch that last segment again from Friday night, I think Brock is just playing games with him at this point in time. I don't think Heyman is really. I don't know if you guys were watching wrestling back in the day, several years back. Once again, aging myself, but there was this whole swerve that involved Brock Lesnar and Big Show and Kurt Angle, where Heyman left Brock by the side of the road, hooked up with Big Show for a while, and then straight after that, Kurt Angle was in the mix with Big Show, and then so Heyman basically just changed clients, if you will, over the course of that storyline. That being said, I know there's comparisons to that storyline. I don't see that happening this time. I think Brock is just playing mind games, and I don't see that belt coming off Roman just yet. Probably building up to Rocky coming over for WrestleMania season. But yeah, I don't see that changing hands anytime soon. So I'm gonna go with Reigns. So I see all the titles staying exactly where they are.
Well, I don't know. So many people are just underwhelmed by this feud, but I have been hooked from the onset. I don't think they could have told the story better. And I know, there's talks about the roles being reversed, a heel Roman Reigns and I'm not even going to call him a face, but a not heel Brock Lesnar. The key thing in this is Paul Heyman. Where is he going to lie? Because I think his character has been such that, he's conniving, he's slimy, he can pretty much go out and do anything. So I think at this point is he actually on Roman's side? Is he actually on Brock's side? Has Brock been saying and telling the truth in all these weeks leading up to the show? I don't know. Who knows? And that's why, for me, this is the most exciting match in the card. I think we've seen them enough to basically look at it and know what the match is going to be and look like. Two heavyweights going at it. There'll be some suplexes. There'll be some Superman punches. But the finish, how this thing sort of ends, is what I'm most interested to see. I think it's been great storytelling. Paul Heyman has been excellent as he normally is. Roman Reigns is on another level, and this Brock Lesnar that we're seeing, this Brock looks like he ate the last Brock, which is saying a lot because the last Brock has been big. I love this new look with the beard and the man bun or man tail or whatever you want to call it. I love that he's been alone. I think he's been superb by himself, being able to cut short little promos and really just hit home hard facts. He doesn't need to beat around the bush. Prediction though, I think Roman Reigns wins. I think it would be really cool if Brock won, just to shake up that title picture. But I love seeing the champion every week. I think Vince loves it. I think Fox loves it. I do not see them taking off this championship from Roman just yet, but I do think Paul Heyman does turn on Roman Reigns, and sides with Brock Lesnar. This match is probably got a part two to it, whenever that may be. You know, next pay per view, possibly a Royal Rumble would be a good idea as well. But Roman wins, finds a way to get it done despite Paul Heyman, turning on him. Makes the most sense to me.
Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. I'd like to say that Brock wins because it would be poetic for Roman to drop the title to Lesnar. It being in Saudi Arabia, it's sort of like now a big pay per view, and it would be a perfect way for Roman to end his against Lesnar, a guy that's almost always had Reigns' number. But it's not. I don't see it happening, and here's the reason why. Because if Paul Heyman were to screw Roman Reigns in this match and align himself with Lesnar, like we all kind of want to expect him to do, where does this leave Heyman when Lesnar takes the title and goes back to his farm and sits at home until the next payday, which is probably the Royal Rumble? And then, of course, you got Survivor Series, which is another big payday. It's one of the big four pay per views. And it would be Lesnar versus Big E, which is not believable. I personally wouldn't believe that match because Lesnar obviously is going to be Big E. It's a no contest. It's a no it's a no brainer, right? Um, so yeah, I don't see Lesnar winning because Heyman would like to butter his bread on the side where he's gonna be there every week. Roman's still gonna be there after Lesnar takes the title away. So while we all want Lesnar to win, and I personally would like it, I don't see it happening. So I'm gonna go with my prediction being Roman Reigns for the win. It could turn out that Heyman looks like he's gonna help Lesnar and then helps Reigns instead get a win over Lesnar to sort of prove his allegiance to Reigns. Or it could be Reigns goes over Lesnar clean or with some interruption from the bloodline in the Usos. There's many different ways this could go, but I'm going for a Lesnar win. Um, there could be a segment after that where Reigns finally has had enough of Heyman and spears him, takes him out, and Heyman could either go off TV or he could, be begging Reigns to come back afterwards. Or we could end up with a situation where it's all good. Heyman, is embraced by the bloodline and he's shown his allegiance, so the bloodline now trusts him, and maybe later on get a Heyman turn, maybe at the Rumble or at WrestleMania. But eventually, the bloodline stable has to come to an end. No stable lasts forever. Sometimes stables do break away and come back together, like DX and in the NWO and the Shield more recently. Um, so yeah, that's my prediction. It's going to be Reigns for the win, and whichever way it goes, I'm going with Reigns retains the Universal Championship at Crown Jewel.
So that's all our predictions. Everything is set in stone. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Of course, thank you very much for listening to this. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell button. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Let us know of who you're most excited to see to eat the chip. I know I'm not excited to eat the chip, and I will not eat the chip because I know my predictions. I'm getting 9 out of 9 for this one. I am telling you, 9 out of 9. I'm convinced that the others, I don't care about their predictions. 9 out of 9 for mine. However, with that being said, please, guys, tell your friends, parents, grandparents, lovers, haters, whoever you like. We're here on PWC. We're shooting out as much content as possible. Of course, scheduling and just getting content out has been a bit of a nightmare with regards to all of us. Myself and Jeremy are working on something really cool. We just need to get the time to actually do it. Kyle has got his universe mode going up there. Nash, his pick of the weeks. And of course, my Monday Vaz rants are up and running. Hopefully, I can bring them for you every week. And then, we've got a whole bunch of other stuff. One-on-ones coming up. We are planning a lot of content. It's just a matter of getting the content out for you guys to enjoy. Thank you very much. Until next time, peace and chicken grease.